All right. So welcome to the world. Sorry, I forgot I have the mic. To the world famous Griffith Observatory and our world famous lightning bolt machine, the Tesla coil. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of info on this, but I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about some of the story that I have with this machine, okay? So hopefully I don't bore you guys too much. I try to be a little funny, try to entertain you guys, and hopefully we can do that, okay? This machine is named after its famous inventor, Mr. Nikola Tesla. A lot of people don't know who Nikola Tesla was. He was a great inventor. The man was a genius when it came to electronics. He had this idea of a Tesla coil, a machine that provided wireless electricity. We kind of take for granted the fact that we have wireless electricity today, but this technology was something that he had back in the late 1800s. Now, if we had this available back then, why didn't we build on it? Why don't we have that, or why didn't we have that even earlier than we do now? Well, there's a few reasons. Number one, it's a very small machine, but behind very thick glass and very thick concrete everywhere, this is actually quite noisy. Tesla was able to do a wireless experiment where he was able to wirelessly light bulbs for over 20 miles down the road. Wow. The problem being, for most of that distance, people would actually hear as the machine was running. Now imagine yourself, you're at home, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're a little hungry. Well, you're on a diet, but you're still hungry. So you're going to quietly tiptoe downstairs, grab your food, you're going to pop it into the microwave. You got to power on your Tesla coil in order to cook it. Sorry, but that was kind of funny. Now here's the thing, folks. Not only are you going to wake up all your neighbors, but everything in your house that can light up will light up, as well as in your neighbor's house. Basically, this machine is an all or nothing type of machine. Those of you that are over there on that other side can see it. I know those of you that are held hostage by me right now can't really notice, but there is a sign over there that says Tesla coil. It's not being held by anything. It's just perched onto that shelf right over there. But every time that I press on the button, see, the way that this machine works, it's plugged into an outlet like you would have at home for your fridge. But with the use of the coils, we ramp up that voltage so that every time that I press on this button and I do this, it converts that voltage to about 250,000 volts. That's what you guys are seeing right up there. Now, the reason that I was asking earlier if there were any people that had visited before the renovation, in the old days, we used to have wooden panels. We would open them up and we would bring out some of the tools that we used. Primarily, we had a large fluorescent light bulb. And it was kind of cool because we would swing it over people's heads and people could see the further that you got away from the machine, the weaker that the signal got. It was actually kind of neat to see. But I was doing a demonstration one time. I don't know, I had maybe about 100 people in the crowd. But I noticed the last 3 rows were not looking at me. Everybody was looking down at the bottom, down at the ground. So I had to ask, what's going on back there? Everybody moved over to the side. And you know the shoes that the kids have nowadays that when they step, the shoes light up? There was a little kid back there that had those shoes on. And every time that I pressed on the button, well, he was within range of the electrical field. So even though he wasn't moving at all, every time that I pressed on the button, the gases in his shoes were getting all excited, and his shoes were lighting up like Christmas trees. It was really cool to watch. Of course, he didn't know that was going on, so what I did is I called him up, had him hold the light bulb, and him be a part of the demonstration. and everybody got the chance to see him and his shoes. It's kind of neat. The other thing that actually happened to me. I was doing a presentation, and honestly, I was a little bored that day. So I was leaning back against that wooden panel that I was telling you guys about. Well, as I was just pressing on the button, I jumped forward. I scared 3 little kids that were in the front row. True story. Right after they realized what happened, the kids began to laugh at me. Turned around, and I found along the top of the wooden panel were a bunch of little metal screws. And apparently, metal is a great conductor of electricity, I got to find out that day. Yeah, I got shocked. Well, what I did is, I turned around and I put my finger on a screw, and nothing happened. Because I found, when I put my finger on the screw, I was grounded. But when I moved my finger just about a ½ inch away from the screw, you guys see that? I got a real neat one of those that would arc up from the screw up to my finger. It was really cool to see. But it kind of hurt. But it was still really cool to do. So I did it for everyone on my presentation from that point on. Well, now that we underwent the big renovation of 06, we really didn't have the ability to have that same technology. We knew that we needed to have our Tesla coil back, but we know that there's all sorts of wireless equipment now. And we know that there's people with, say, for example, like pacemakers. So we need to take care of everything on the outside from what this machine is capable of doing. That's why we have this cage right here that you guys all see. It's called a Faraday cage. And the Faraday cage protects everything on the outside of the cage from what's going on the inside of the cage. But I'm not giving up. One of these days I'm going to take one of those shoes, I'm going to pop it up here, and we'll see if it happens. So stay tuned. Anyway, folks, thank you very much. That's the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, this is your last opportunity to snap some pics. Thank you and have a good night.